Alright YouTube, before you watch the video, if you want to watch it, the fan has been done. It's been out here running on high speed, see, for a little over 2 hours, and it's operating just fine. So enjoy the video. Just make sure you can solder and put a little bit of wet paper towel on your freaking thermal fuse. See ya. Alright YouTube, 106 Falconer, back with another freaking fantastic freaking video. This Lasko pedestal fan, digital control, or you know, doesn't have a mechanical switch on there. Over the weekend, this thing decided to stop fanning. All right, the lights were on. You turn the power on, you know, you can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, light up, but the fan wouldn't go. So what the deal is here is the thermal fuse blew in it. All right, it's a 2 amp thermal fuse. I cannot get one of these things locally here. I had to order it from eBay. I had to select a US seller so I could get it. It was like $6 for one or $9 for two, so I ordered 2 and it got here in 2 days. If I had a month or 2 to wait around, I could have ordered these right from China for like 50 cents. So but I'll show you how I determined that. So we'll take the whatever this thing's called, the grate, the grill, I don't know. So get the, I mean, these freaking Lasko fans, they're awesome when they have that that turbo design on the blades. I mean, they do move some freaking air really good. But what it was the blades would not turn. I mean, it was like, and that's because of the bearings. And of course, this didn't happen. I had not the last fan I did a video of, but I have another one that a couple weeks ago the humidity shot up. I mean, to like 8,000%, and both of my fans like this stopped. It's the bearings in there that get all farged up. I think they're probably supposed to be disposable. I don't know if you can see my little fan in the corner over there. That little GE fan, that's like from the 60s. And that freaking thing runs non-stop without an issue. All right, so you take this thing apart. Then you have to take off your oscillating knob that just pulls straight up from the back. Then we'll take the back cover off here. Make sure your fan's unplugged. I mean, not that it really, you know, doesn't really need to be said, but hell, I even do it when they're plugged in, so whatever. All right, pop that off. Take your housing off. You can see I've had this apart. I'll show you. And none of my other fans have that thermal fuse in there. So I'm putting it in there just because it was in there, because I don't trust it to bypass it. So let's see here. Let me finish getting this apart. I'm going to take the controller apart here. Oops. I almost took the screw out with that with my step bit. That don't work very good, do it? So when you take this off, this is just 4 Phillips head in the back. Except they do throw you a freaking boner in there. There's also one more screw right here in the middle that's got a little, it's a little triangle bit. So you just take a small slotted screwdriver, you can get that out, and then leave it out. All right, so we got that apart. So then this pops out. Let me take the controller all the way out of there. This has 6 screws on it here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I should lower the camera. You know what? I'm going to lower the camera because she is kind of shooting high. Let's see here if I bring that down a little more. I got too many things going on at one time, so whatever. I guess it's better than having nothing going on. All right, so we'll take that out of there. These ones here, we'll just screw it. Them 2 inside ones, you got to use a screwdriver because my screw gun don't want to work with them. Now originally I thought it was just a fuse. I thought there'd be a fuse in the controller here, but there weren't no, or I mean there is a fuse in there, but the fuse is good. So I'll show you here. So that comes out like so. Just don't lose any pieces, because like that, because she falls apart on you. But that's just your selector buttons. Just go in there. All right, so in the controller here, there's a fuse on the circuit board right there, which, like I say, is good. But when you, let me zoom in here. Move the camera down. Oh, it's telling me I'm a little crooked. I don't give a crap. Whatever. All right, so your wires here, you have your lead coming in from the plug. You know, your 110, 120, whatever. If you're in Europe, whatever it is, 8,000, I don't know. That goes in there, and then this white wire that's right here, this white wire goes up to the starter to the starter capacitor right here. But they make their connection inside the motor housing. So it's real easy to pull this motor apart, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to show it to you. You got to take your oscillating mechanism off there. It's just a Phillips head screw on the bottom. It's really tight. Well, not now. First time I took it apart, it was really tight. Now she's been used a little. She's come apart easy. Anyways, God, I'm an ass. All right, so you got that. That's your arm for your oscillator. You know, your attachment arm for the oscillator. That come off. 99% of the time with these fans, let me put this up a little bit more. it's going to be your bearing in the back that needs to get lubed up. So even if you replace this thermal fuse and don't lube up that bearing in the back, then you'll blow it again, because your motor won't turn like it's supposed to. I just put a couple schnots of WD-40 in there. I'll show you that here. Anyways, so you get that apart. Now we'll take the housing for the gears for the oscillator off. That's just 3 Phillips head screws, bam, bam, and then there's one up there. So we'll shoot them off here real quick. There's one of them. One there. And now I got to take the starter capacitor off. That's just one Phillips head screw right there. Oh. And then that will let me gain access to this top screw. So there. Now your oscillating mechanics are off of there. So this bearing right here, if you just take you want to blow it out, this thing, when I took it apart, I mean, the back of the housing, this was just packed up with freaking dog hair and dust. I mean, it stunk. We used to have a basset hound, and it stunk like the freaking basset hound did. So, but I never noticed. I don't know when it got like that. So you just put a couple little schnots of WD-40 in there, even though, the orange vesters will tell you not to do that because it collects dust and whatever. It is what it is. So that's if your fan is just running hard, just do that. You can also do it on the front. Take the just shoot right in there, and that'll spin your motor good. Now to crack the motor apart, there are 4 Phillips head screws on the back. I have 3 of them out. They look like so, right there. And then the motor just will. It's my battery. Yeah. Getting a little low on my mic battery, so if I lose you, oh well. All right, so you do that, and the motor comes apart. Like so. You can also gain access to that bearing right through here, but there's a washer on there inside there, so don't lose that. So now I'll show you what I am. Well, wait, I got to finish pulling this apart. All right, get your screws out, and then you can pull back the rear housing like so. And then in here, this right there is your thermal fuse. Goes from that white wire. Let's zoom in here a little bit. Okay, the white wire. Then it goes, and the other thing I did, I cut this fiberglass wrap on here because I wasn't sure what I was going to get into in there. And this stuff's rated at I think 600 Celsius, and I cannot find this crap around here anywhere. So what I'm going to do is just use got some Harbor Freight's very best Chinese shrink tube. I'm going to put a white one on there, a piece of white. This is rated at 125 degrees Celsius, where the fuse is, it's kind of hard to do. So what the hell am I doing here? I don't know. Well, whatever. Fuse is 115 degrees Celsius. So I figure that'll be good enough, because that's the shrink tube is more heat resistant than the thermal fuse. So, but if you can see in here, it goes from the white wire through the thermal fuse into the gray wire. One of the gray wires going to the starter capacitor, but they also have one of the wires from the winding soldered into this gray wire. So I'm going to clip this and I'm going to solder onto I'm going to solder it. I'm not going to try doing it onto the here. I'm going to solder it here, and then down here. I'm going to finish taking off this fiberglass wrap. Then I'll slide a piece of shrink tube on there, and hopefully get this thing done so it'll be semi, fire resistant. So let me get that cut off. Let's see, got to get my razor blade. Razor blade. Oh. I don't got enough freaking room in Famlandia here anymore. Plus my freaking eyes suck. Oh, but what I want to show you here real quick, how to diagnose this if you are so inclined to do so. So I'm going to take that. Shit. All right, I'm going to plug the fan in, and I will show you. I'm going to use my sniffer, whatever they call this thing. I have no idea what they call it. Don't even know if I use it correctly. All I know is that whatever I use it for, it works. So, all right, let me plug the fan in here. Okay, so if we go here and I power the fan up, can you see how it's on number 1 speed? There's your speed selector. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to 1. So if you take your little sniffer tool, at the white wire, there's power, because here's the power coming in, and then the white's going up through there, coming down to here. And you have power up to the fuse. But not coming out of the fuse. So what that's doing is not letting the juice go to the starter capacitor right here to allow the fan to fire up. So that's the issue there. And what caused that issue was the bearing being full of crap and not spinning properly. So let me I'm going to unplug the fan now. Where the hell are we at? All right, I'm gonna Well, I'm going to clip this, clip the thermal fuse here. Where the hell's my clippers at? Oh, there they are. Right in front of my face. I couldn't find my regular wire clippers, so I'm using my weed trimming scissors. I'm going to sacrifice them. So, all right. We got that. Then I'm going to cut you up there. And that will release the Kraken. So, let me set that down. Then what's going to happen here is, like I say, this new fuse is going to get soldered on right there. So, let me get the solder iron plugged in and stuff and get ready to roll, and we'll solder her up and see if it works. I'll be back. Alright, so I'm getting this ready. What I did here was I cut this last remaining zip tie that was right here so I could have access to that. Then I forgot we got that freaking wire from the winding on there, because I wanted to try to slide the shrink tube. See, I cut a shrink tube the same length as that fiberglass tube. So what I'm gonna have to do is take this other zip tie off right here and try to slide this sheathing back so I can get that shrink tube on there. Then these ends here, the solder ends, they had just put these vinyl or PVC caps on there that they welded the ends closed on there. So I got to get that shrink tube on there, do that, then fold it up, and there's 3 zip ties, 1, 2, 3. I did take a picture of it because I knew I'd never remember how the hell to put it back together. Let's see here. It's really kind of a crappy picture, but you can see how we have the vinyl cap, then that wire is folded over the thermal fuse in there. So, but there's 1, 2, 3 zip ties there. So let me do that. Hopefully I'll be able to get that sheathing pulled back far enough. Well, even if I gotta, I'm gonna cut that and I'll just freaking black tape that shit. Screw it. I'm gonna be sitting here farting around all freaking ass day. Another razor blade. Cut that vinyl. Well, hell, you know what? I even have, oh no, that ain't gonna work anyways. I was gonna say I got big shrink tube I could put around there, but I can't because I can't when it's connected. Dumbass. Alright, so that'll give me enough room there to slide this shrink tube over. It should. Well, apparently schnot. Just keep going back. A little bit myrrh. Yeah, and the PVC, caps, the PVC they're using all over, that's rated at 105 Celsius. So I think this 125 will be perfectly good. And then I'm going to take this and should have taken my wires apart. I'm gonna alligator clip that to there. Well, now I'm gonna have to wrap it. That fucking thing. Well, let me get my solder gun heated up, and then we'll solder this crap up and see what kind of a mess I can make out of this. I'll be back in a minute. All right, YouTube. I got this thermal fuse kind of soldered up there, and just to show you, so you're not under the misconception that I actually know what the hell I'm doing. Just a second here. Let me get my camera. What the freaking flibble flap is going on here? Alright, let me zoom in here. Okay, so I'm glad I bought the 2 freaking thermal fuses, because the first one I soldered up there, I blew it. Because I did a shit-ass job. Soldered too close to the fuse and blew the fuse. I'll show you here. What a dumbass. Alright, so we got no bad fuse. Now the new one I put on here, what I did was I took a piece of paper towel, got it wet, and then took an alligator clip, clipped it on there to keep the fuse cool while I soldered it up with my crappy solder irons. And so we got continuity through there. So let that be a lesson to all you freaking amateurs out there. Let pros like me do it. So. Alright, so hopefully I got that soldered up there good enough, because my freaking solder guns are hunks of crap. So I really don't want to take a chance on screwing things up. Alright, so now I'm going to try to get this oh shit, my freaking shrink tube shrunk while I was soldering it. Son of a bitch. That's probably why they use that fiberglass shit. Alright, well, let me oh, my solder joint didn't even hold. I'll be a freaking mother frickin'. Alright, let me get this out of the way. Get you moved up. Alright, let me try to I'm gonna try to have at it again. I'll be back. All right, YouTube, getting back at it here. So I took the white shrink tube, put it on there. Then I took a couple small pieces, put it on the ends. Now what I'm going to do, because these vinyl caps that were there, I cannot get them to get on there the way I like them to. So, and these are only 105 Celsius, where this is 125 Celsius. So I don't know, you know. So then I'm taking a larger heat tube or shrink tube, and I'm going to put it over this piece and this piece just to make sure there's no leakage of electricity. And then when it gets folded over, we should be good. I'm going to do that same on this one also. I mean, I would think it's going to be at least as good as the other one. You know, I don't know. I got no idea. All I know is this is going to fix her up there. These pack of shrink tubes at Harbor Freight was like $1.19. So I guess hopefully it's quality Chinese stuff. But if not, all right, so now this one's gonna have to go over here. All right, now the one I put over the thermal fuse, I did not shrink that. I mean, I just hit it real quick just to narrow it down a little bit, but I didn't put any heat on it because I don't want to screw that fuse up. Now this thing here, this is gonna have to fold over like this. Something like that. All right, I gotta get some zip ties so we can do that, zip it up. I'll be back in a second. Okay, all right, so I got it on there. Oh, shit, what the hell am I doing? Zip tie it up about as close as I remember it being there, looking at that picture. Tape this wire up, a little zip tie back on there. So now if we slap her back together here, we'll see if it's going to run. All right, you got to be up there. You're in there. Get that washer back in there. Get this body back on there. Doop-a-doo. All right, then we'll. Shit. You know what? A second here. Let me readjust the camera again. What a pain in the ass. Just go buy a new freaking fan, man. Quit being such a cheapskate. All right, let's get this prick up there. All right, so this is going to be on the side here like that. You're there. We got to get this shaft into there. And we'll put the two halves together there. All right, she's looking good. All right, blammo. 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 That freaking thermal fuse, that's a pain in the ass, man. Damn. Well, I suppose if you actually knew what you were doing, it wouldn't be bad, but I got no freaking idea what I'm doing. I'm just going through and doing this and that and the other. All right, let's, should be able to plug her in, see if she'll boot up. Take a look-see here. All right, power. Oh, look at that. She's spinning. Nice. All right. Let's finish putting this pig back together. Oh, I better unplug it first. I'm like so over this now. Screw this shit, man. I'm freaking done. Done like dinner. All right, so we'll put the oscillating mechanism back on there. Take that screw out, and that just slips in there. All right, blammo. Now I gotta put that thing, I gotta find that thing. Stick this cable tie in there. See, that's the problem when you, I'm one of them people that, said it before, I know just enough shit to get me in trouble. And that ain't no lie. It's not good to be like that. Nope. Not good at all. Alright, so now we'll put our starter thingamajiggity back up there. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh. Boop, boo, doo, 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 boo. Alright, where do you go? Right there, right? No. Where the hell's the hole, man? No, it's not a hole. I'm making my own hole there. That's what it looks like. Wait. Wait, no, that was the right. I wasn't making my own hole after all. I was sticking it in the hole I was supposed to be in. All right, we do that. Oh, we got to put this oscillating arm thing on there. Boop, boo. I'll use I'll use a manual screwdriver this time. Oh, I gotta put that on here. So let's see, I gotta, there. You gotta make sure you slide that plastic arm over the collar on the screw. Alright, so that's good. That's good. So now I should be able to throw the freaking let's throw the fan blade on there. Just make sure it is gonna work. And if it does, that's it. I'm done with the video. The rest of the stuff you can figure out yourself. It's definitely not rocket science, the rest of it. Just putting it back together. Alright. Tighten. Alright, we good? Good. Contact. Well, there we go. So that's, I stopped the oscillating function. Boy, it's awful shaky, isn't it? Oh, well, whatever. All right, so that's how you do it. If your fan is, but like I say, that the bearings in the motor, that's the most important part, because if them things are still locked up, you change out that fuse and you're gonna blow it again right away. So, all right, that's it. See ya, bitches.